begin. Start this off with a Max C in the draw phase against Heroes, as Heroes now just passed their turn. Didn't really have a play anyway. As we now Max C back onto you. We're going to chain the Coup Clock to the Max C, as we then chain Lady Labyrinth to the activation of the Coup Clock. Thus, you don't get a draw. And our Lady is now in the field. She can only be summoned into defense through her own effect. We have the Labyrinth setup. A lot of people don't play this because it requires a big setup to even use it. You got to target 2 Labyrinth spell and traps that are banished and/or in the graveyard, and then you get to set up to 2 cards in the deck, 2 normal traps on the deck with different names. That's crazy. We didn't set the simultaneous because we could Butler. Butler could set the simultaneous whenever we want and activate it whenever. Are you ready? We have Vian on summon, send from the deck a Malicious. So what does your extra deck look like, by the way, if you play Simultaneous Equation Cannon? Are you ready? Boom. We have 2 rank 6s, 2 rank 5s, 2 rank 4s, 2 rank 3s. We got the fusions up in here. We got a level 3 fusionist, very powerful, very good. We also got the Alvain. Do we have a level 1? And we have the level 1 Infernoid Evil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. That's how it works. Malicious from the deck, and now it looks like we are setting up the Simultaneous Equation Cannon to make it activatable the turn it is set, and we are in fact activating it. Just like that, we're going to chain the Lady Labyrinth to set a trap from the deck. So we're going to banish 1 fusion and 2 Xyz monsters. It's going to banish the whole field. So we banished 4, 4, and 2. So 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 2 is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you understand that? 10 cards between both hands and fields. And then you have to return back. So we're targeting the Malicious, 6. So we're going to use a 2 and a 4. 4 plus 2 equals 6. Level 6 in the field. By doing that, they're going to banish the whole field. All right? So this is all about 10 cards and then level 6. Easy math. Perfect. Very well done. Set the favorite contact, end our turn. We're going to favorite contact in the draw phase. Chain the Lady to the favorite contact, setting whatever we trap we want from the deck. That's going to be our big welcome Labyrinth, which will be activatable thanks to the Coup Clock. As we return back to summon our DPE, non-target pop a card on the field. Pot E, banish 6 cards randomly, draw 2. This could screw up your Equation Cannon. We can't activate this again now after a pot E, very likely. DPE cannot pop the Lady Labyrinth, but the newly summoned Lovely can get destroyed before she even triggers. But instead, we're going to be summoning an Ariana to then return back to normal summon within main phase 2. DPE activated to come back during the next standby phase as we swing in for that 3K. Ariana searching our deck for the Labyrinth. Labyrinth will turn our Labyrinth traps into a non-target pop any card on the field. Heroes are getting screwed big time, especially because of the Equation Cannon. Now, we were not able to summon DPE for some reason because it wasn't properly summoned. Oopsies. Yeah, you see, you actually can't see it. How can I show you? I'm highlighting it. Monster was not summoned correctly. Thus, it could not be summoned. It was not summoned correctly through the favorite contact. All right, let's go. Now, how come sometimes a card like this summons it correctly? How it would work is special summon a fusion monster from your action deck that it mentions a hero monster as a material, ignoring its summoning conditions. It would then say, this counts as a fusion summon. A lot of cards will say, this counts as a fusion, this counts as a synchro, this counts as an Xyz summon. It does not say that, so it's an improper summon. As we now, Lady Labyrinth in response to the big welcome, which will summon and pop a card in the field. So we're going to say goodbye to the Denier as we set up that regular welcome Labyrinth. Come forth, lovely Labyrinth, which will goodbye Denier and destroy a card from the hand. Goodbye from the hand, goodbye from the field. The Equation Cannon stole the game, right? It won it. It won it. All in on the Equation Cannon. And what was really insane about the Equation Cannon is that this dude counted up the cards in the hand and field, and then decided there was only 9, right? Well, we used Lady Labyrinth to set a 10th one. So 9 would have to be, you would have to banish a 4, and a 1. But then 4 plus 1 equal 5. There's no level 5 in the field. So instead of 4 plus 4 and a 1, we knew that with the level 6 Malicious, if we set another card in the field, it would be 4 plus 2. So 4 plus 4 plus 2 is 10. 4 plus 2 is 6. Then, only then, we could banish the field. So the lady does give you some control of your equation cannon. All right, what is good? Let's get to it. We're going to start this off with the Hero Lives. Summon from the deck into a Max C. Of course, we have that call by the grave to negate and finger that Max C. Negate. As we now summon from the deck, and let's speed this up since they have no disruption whatsoever. What are we doing here? This is a different deck. This is not make Dark Law and pass. We do have Dark Law, we just chose to not summon it because we're doing something else. What is this? What is this? Favorite Contact. Return 2 cards to the grave plus, 4 cards. Cosmoneos, much better than Dark Law. If this card is special summoned for the extra deck, you can activate the effect of, for the rest of this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards. Also, cards your opponent control cannot activate their effects, and your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. So what can you do here? If you could get transaction rollback plus another trap in the graveyard, would it be activatable? Because you said you can't activate cards. That's not the activation of a card. That would be the activation of an effect. That would work. Activation of a card will be activating it from the hand or flipping it face up. And then also the cards you control cannot even activate. So that would be monster effects that you're mostly applied to, and also continuous spell and traps, which they cannot activate their effects. Yeah, we just set pass, right? Typhon is here. Typhon cannot activate to spin back, though. Set our triple back row cards. We're going to be DPE popping one of those back row cards randomly, taking out the transaction rollback. That is what we wanted. We're going to Dimensional Barrier, negate the effects of all fusions, and you can't summon any more fusions for the rest of the turn. Now, the effect of Typhon is now applying. 3,000 or more attack cannot activate no matter where it is. Even if it's an effect in grave, 3,000 attack, no good. Reborn the Malicious, tribute off Malicious, search our deck for a hero. Stratos could pop that final back row card on summon, say goodbye to the Black Goat Laughs. To battle we go. While we may not be able to activate, the Cosmoneos is big enough to simply take out the Typhon. Do we have enough for lethal damage here? Honest Neos, boost up the Stratos for perfect lethal damage, a little bit over perfect, but that looks nice. Very well done, Cosmoneos. Floodgate their entire turn. But to be fair, they then repaid the favor by floodgating them with Dimensional Barrier, but the fusions were already on the field, so it wasn't as effective. Let's take this into game 3. Let's see what madness Labyrinth could do on their very first turn. We do have the simultaneous equation cannons armed and ready as we get set up a big welcome Labyrinth to also be activatable. The turn it is set, that is, as we then summon from the deck a lady, as we now set this all up. So let's make sense of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be something like a 4, 4, and a 2. But then the lady could set another trap in the deck, which would be 11, which could be a 5, 5, and a 1. So if there were a level 6 in the field, you could do the 5 and the 1 to return back your cards, then banish their whole field. So let's see what happens here. Can we do a 4, though? A 4 would be very difficult. Generally, the equation cannons. So if you want to counter equation cannons, you're like, holy crap, I have no idea how this card works. Essentially, in most cases, it's going to require a monster that's bigger than level 4. Now, can it work on level 4? Sure. In a rare circumstance, that would be like a 2, 2, and a 2. That would be 6 cards between both of you, and then they use the 2 and the 2. That's a very small amount, but you could just see the hand and field sizes, and just don't summon anything big. Forehead, just chill on Stratos. That could be enough. Well, now we have a Ferris, which could make us possibly susceptible to the equation cannon. Increase is going to jump up. Well, actually, the increase would attribute off the Ferris. We're going to summon a Vian. Vian's in for the deck of Malicious. I think Malicious is what's going to get us screwed. As soon as Malicious is summoned, they are going to whip out the cannon. Cross Crusader. Reborn Malicious. Uh-oh. No, we waited. We're waiting. Okay, I thought that was going to happen right then and there. This banishes the entire field. Polymerization, come forth into Elemental Hero Sunrise. We're really waiting on that Equation Cannon. I cannot freaking wait. Sunrise, search our deck for a Miracle Fusion. How does this work in real life? Like, you're not allowed to bluff Nibiru. You can't be like, okay, 3, 4, 5 summons. How are you not continually counting the cards on the field and in the opponent's hand, trying to resolve this Equation Cannon, continually looking at your extra deck? Of course, they're going to know you have it, but then I guess you could try to bluff it. Well, you're not allowed to. Holy moly, this is it. Are you ready? So let's set up that, and now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We need 3 monsters to equal 11, and then 2 monsters need to equal a monster on the field, but it has to be between the Fusion and the Xyz, all right? So we're gonna use a 4, a 4, and a 3. So that's 8 plus 3, that's 11, and then what is the Sunrise? It's level 7. So we're gonna use the 4 and the 3, which equals 7, targeting the Sunrise to then Manish the field. Just like that. 4, 4, 3, 4, 3. Wipe it. We still got some plays here. Draw 2. We have Malicious. Banish the graveyard to come forth and summon from the deck. Mash change that Malicious. Also chain Forbidden Droplet. We're going to make it so the Lady Labyrinth will be destroyable by a DPE. It already activated to set a card from the deck, but it's untargetable and protection from destruction effect is now gone. As we make that Dark Law, any card sent to the grave will be banished instead. As we Miracle Fuse into the Infernal Rage. With the Infernal Rage on someone, we're going to search for our favorite contact, and then we're going to follow up Fusion, Destiny, send from the deck to summon a DPE, non-target pop a card on the field. We have Destructive Daruma Cannon. We're going to non-target pop 2 before again flipped face down. We're going to Arius, chain, someone from the graveyard, big Welcome Labyrinth, chain, spin the DPE, back to the extra you go. Be gone. Now, let's summon. Let's non-target pop, take out the Arius in our card, and let's flip it all face down. The Dark Law was newly summoned this turn, so of course we're not going to flip it back up. Denier is going to return back a Malicious that is banished into the deck, making the Malicious and Grave activatable again. Thanks to Denier, the Malicious essentially played at 4 copies. We have Honest Neos boosting up the Denier outside of the damage step. We have to do this in the damage step. Do not do this in the battle step or in the attack declaration. It allows them to respond with a Daruma Cannon. So what you would do is you would wait for the numbers in the battle. At sub-step 1, it will say 0, 1. That would be the start of the damage step before they're flipped face up. You could even wait until sub-step 2, where it's at least flipped face up, and then boost your card, but not outside the damage step, which would then allow them to more easily respond to your effect. Thus, we lose out on the Honest Neos for no reason. Let's set up the favorite contact. Let's see what's good. Come forth, flip back up, get in, take out that Dark Law. Our cards will no longer be banished. As we're going to follow up a big Welcome Labyrinth, chain the Lady to the big Welcome, set whatever trap we want from the deck. This newly set trap is not activatable the turn it's set. Is that our 3rd Daruma? I think so. As we Lovely Labyrinth, does Lovely recycle Equation Cannon? No way, right? We are going to non-target pop a card on the field. But with favorite contact, we can summon a monster that can't be popped. And that's going to be the Shining Neos Wingman, which cannot be destroyed by card effects. 5,200 attack, activate to pop multiple cards in the field, taking out both back row cards. Say goodbye to the Malicious as we now Lovely Labyrinth, not resetting up the Equation Cannon. So the more cards they have, the bigger the monster that you're going to have to be for them to banish your whole field. And the less cards they have, the smaller your monster has to be. So just think about that to counter the Equation Cannon if this ever becomes popular. Little amount of cards on field in hand, have a big body. Too many cards on the fields in hand, do not summon a big body. Typhon could spin back the Shining Neos. The indestructible Shining Neos is now... It can't be spun back. Now, What, you can't read? Okay, read that, read this. It does not say it can't be returned back to the extra deck. Well, don't you know in Yu-Gi-Oh! You're supposed to read every card in the grave, banish, or even the duel log if a card got shuffled back in the deck? Well, the card you're supposed to read is the favorite contact. And in-game, Konami has a system called Influence. And generally, a lot of cards, they're doing this mostly with the Xyz summons, where you could click on Influence and it will tell you what the card's being influenced by. It's being influenced by the favorite contact, which states that neither player can return the monster back into the extra deck. So we couldn't return it back. Nope. Plasma, which requires 3 monsters to summon. We're going to big welcome, return back. Now, the lovely cannot destroy the Neos Wingman. We're going to take out the Plasma instead. Big enough to take her out. I cannot believe even after that, we're still doing well. Burn for 29 after swinging over that lovely. This Neos Wingman is an absolute monster. And you would think, okay, how does Labyrinth deal with this? They have big welcome in the grave, right? Well, again, we can't return it back to the extra. We can't Typhon, we can't big welcome it. So this being our main form of removal, how do we stop the Neos Wingman in Labyrinth? How do we? Huh? Dogmatic Punishment doesn't work. Daruma just flip, okay, you could flip it down, then spin it back. Okay, is that, wait, we could negate it with Dimensional Barrier, but then it can't be spun back, but it can be destroyed. That's the play, right? So negate it, then destroy it. Malicious is going to be banished from the graveyard to summon from the deck here. We're going to summon the Panther, and within the battle phase, we're going to negate the fusion, then pop the Panther with the Entis. Entis now destroy the Neos Wingman, which can now finally be destroyed. We needed that 2-card combo to stop this unstoppable monster that could not even be returned back to the extra deck. And just like that, I think Judai now got this, right? Pot of E, randomly banish 6 cards off of the extra deck here. Let's get our draw 2, Ecclesia with no search. Goodbye to Malicious. Increase will equip itself into the back row, but we need a hero on the field to tribute to special summon. And we also need a Vian in deck, which we may not have more than the 1 copy that we play, possibly. We're going to summon the Shadow Mist, and just like that, we're going to activate the Dimensional Barrier. We do not care. It does turn on the requirement to summon Our Lady, and you now can't summon fusions for the rest of the turn. We're going to use the big welcome in grave, spin it back. I don't care what you can or cannot do, but we're going to use the increase to tribute off the monster you want to spin back. Now, will the increase actually summon a monster from the deck here? We do. We have another Vian, and the Shadow Mist will trigger to search for a hero because it was sent to the grave. But remember, fusion cannot be summoned. We already normal summon for the turn, as you can see there. We do play a second copy of Vian, send an increase, search for a polymerization that we cannot even use. Dimensional Barrier is stealing this game. As we cross Crusader. Cross Crusade. Reborn Denier. Return back Malicious. We're going to tribute off, search our deck for Elemental Hero Neos. To battle we go. Take out, or at least deal some damage over the Ecclesia, which, can't be destroyed by monster summon for the extra deck, that is. As we off the top of our deck, Ariane, discard the newly top deck card, that is, to then summon an Ariana, grabbing a big welcome Labyrinth. To battle we go, take out the Cross Crusader, trigger the increase again, but we cannot use it. It just like that. Lethal damage. A very interesting game. We got the Equation Cannons. I think the biggest pain point of that duel that maybe messed up a lot of things was that damage step situation. And you have to understand with Master Duel, you could fully understand the damage step and that you should be using cards in the damage step, but maybe you just misclick or misplay or within the game, even within knowing that, something you would not do in real life would happen in game. Maybe you don't have the setting, the battle details. I don't think they're on by default. So it can be confusing to even know, are you in the damage step? Now, another visual indicator would be their monster flipping face up. You would then know they're in the damage step. It's not too late to activate your damage step card. I'll tell you this with Gimmick Puppet. This could help you plan against it and also with it. The equation, essentially, to first turn kill with Gimmick Puppets, which is not some gimmick within Gimmick Puppets. It's the main thing they do consistently. With Field Spell, they only need 4 monsters. So Rogue Doll counts as essentially 3 monsters. She will summon herself, summon a monster from the deck that could then reborn from the graveyard. So she counts as 3, but she also returns herself back to the hand, which will be a 4th monster, but you need 4 monsters before Link 2ing. And that's with Field Spell. So is Rogue Doll herself a first turn kill right here? No, she's not. But then you have Gimmick Puppet Little Soldier, which will be your 4. So that's if we had Field Spell, this is first turn kill because we have 4 bodies. But without Field Spell, you need 5. Do we have 5? We do. Rogue Doll is 1, 2, and 3. Little Soldiers is the 4th, and the Rogue Doll adding itself back from the graveyard will be the 5th monster after the Link 2 is... You need the 5th monster is the monster to summon with the Link 2. If you have the Field Spell, you don't have to special summon with the Link 2. All right, so just understand 4 and 5 are the magic numbers, but initially both combos need 4, but without Field Spell, you need the 5th for the Link 2 to summon. All right, so this is first turn kill, but they have a DD Crow. That's the problem. Let's go. Little Soldiers send from the deck, Gimmick Puppet Bisque Doll. Now that's gonna make all your monsters untargetable. But that, for example, plays into an Ash Blossom. Ashing the Rogue Doll is a huge choke point. The Field Spell will not protect the Rogue Doll. Now, could Little Soldiers have protected the Rogue Doll? No, because Little Soldiers cannot send the level 4 baby in the carriage, if that's whatever its name is, which would then make it so they can't chain to your Rogue Doll activating. Come forth and summon, as we now Gimmick Puppet Machine X. Machine X is going to detach, search our deck for the Chaos. The Chaos rank up is going to be used 3 times. You're going to activate it and then add it back from the graveyard, then add it back from the graveyard. Well, DD Crow. So this is a huge counter to the deck. You get rid of the rank up that's continually being added back, and then they're going to have to cope with Triple Tactics talent to maybe draw their 2nd or 3rd copy they may be playing. Now, because he's playing rank up magic number Force, Numeron Force, he may not be playing a 2nd copy. We'll see. Gimmick Puppet C Xyz, the Chaos Xyz, which is going to be searching for the trap. Now, this alone, if we ended our turn, this is double disruption. If the opponent special summons, we could pop it, and if the opponent has a monster that's worth taking control of, this could take control of it. So even if they don't first turn kill, this is a double disruption. The problem with this deck that really sucks is trying to first turn kill is going to get rid of our disruption. So if our first turn kill gets disrupted and we get rid of this, we're then not going to have that extra disruption. We'll be ending on a suboptimal turn 1. I'm going to detach, reborn from the grave, DD Crowing the Cattle Scream instead of the rank up. So we now potentially have a chance to win this. Triple Tactics talent. Let's see if we could, okay, we're going to look at the hand, not draw. Spin that full back. Let's see what we can do from here. Machine X is going to detach, summon onto their field. We're not first turn killing, by the way. No, we're not first turn killing. We're just going to be happy with double disruption. We're going to take the easier route. We're just look at their hand, spin a card back, and have double disruption plus the Ash Blossom. That's fine. That is fine. Hello, Max C, late to the party. Twin Twister taking out the puppet play. We're now down to 2 disruption with the Ash and the Machine X. Ash is going to negate the Nerval from searching. Negate. And now, on a special summon, we can destroy that monster, but there is no monster to destroy. You don't need an Xyz material to destroy, no detach. We got Little Soldiers. Now, the deck actually has, I would say, a pretty damn good turn 2, or even a follow-up, because they could very easily, without the Field Spell, make it all their cards completely untargetable and deal easy lethal damage. Let's reborn from the graveyard with the Puppet play against Max C. Should Gimmick Puppet take the Maxi challenge? I would say yes. We should definitely brute force that Maxi and try to go for game. Come forth, Gimmick Puppet of Strings. We're going to trigger the rank up engrave, add back to the hand, activate, come forth and summon. And just like that, we now have the Giant Hunter. Giant Hunter can detach, destroy an opponent's monster, and just like that, 8,600 damage. Gimmick Puppet taking game 1. Now, do you auto win against Gimmick Puppet if they don't go first? As I was saying, they have a pretty good turn 2. Fractal is going to send from the deck, sending to, all right, then we're now going to be reborning. We're going to use the Ash Blossom to negate the Cobalt Sparrow from Search in the deck. No level 1 Winged Beast from your deck to your hand, but they could do that like 3 times in one turn. We're going to Recital Starling. The effect you just negated, do it again. Now, this will send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards from the deck to the grave. It's going to be a big play, which means you just negate it. We do have the Apex Avian to negate it. If there were no negate for the Condolence Puppet, I do believe confidently that Gimmick Puppet won. That's it. Gimmick Puppet would win this. There's another problem, though. The DD Crow could also banish one of the cards that you would send before it activates, but we do have the Mansion also. The Mansion will ensure that our Gimmick Puppets, this is not going to be just the main phase 1 like how the Tenpai field spell works. This is at all times, your Gimmick Puppet monsters cannot be affected by monster effects. The activated ones, that is, unless they're Xyz. Oh, geez, that's actually relevant. That's an Xyz, that's an Xyz. So the Gimmick Puppet field spell doesn't even protect you from the Utopic Draco Future nor the Ensemble Robin. That's a problem. Big negate. You have to negate this. And I know, say the line, DK. If you negate the activation, you can activate another one, right? No. This is one of those rare cards, it may be not so rare, where even if you negate the activation, you have another copy, it cannot be activated again because it has, usually cards with multiple effects will say you can only use each effect. Even though the activation's negated, you used the card, thus another copy is dead. Spin back. And we have spin back, spin back, spin back, and negate and take control. 4 disruption. The DD Crow is, I would say, disruption against Gimmick Puppet. Good one. We're going to negate the ability to gain level. So you still send from the deck by cost, and you are being affected by an Xyz monster, so the field spell does not protect you. We have 4 disruption. DD Crow banish the Abyss Doll from the graveyard. We have 3 disruption left. Rogue Doll, we're going to chain spin back the field spell. Okay. Even though the Ensemble Robin will still affect the cards that summoned, you could still do this. They are affected by Xyz monsters still, even with the field spell. Yeah, that's a problem. And then we have all right, game over. You tried. A negate on the Condolence Puppet. That was it. That was it. As soon as that happened, we didn't have a real duel anymore. You see Puppet a lot, actually? Wow. We're going to Condolence send from the deck. We do have Max C. We're going to add the Rogue Doll special summon. We're going to chain that Max C. We do have Droll and Lockbird, which will lock out both players from being able to add from the deck, which will turn off Max C, but we also cannot search. What is good here? Little Dolls send a Bish Doll. We're now going to be making our Gimmick Puppet Machine X. With the Machine X, we're going to be detaching, searching for our rank up magic. Then we're not taking the Maxi challenge. We know they're playing a card like DD Crow. We know that they're possibly gonna have other cards that may disrupt us. Impermanence would be quite well. We have the Bish Doll to protect us from Imperm. I guess we're really just worried about them top deck into DD Crow. So what are our disruptions here? We just have Droll and Puppet play. Take control of a monster and disallow them from further adding. Even under Droll, yeah, there you could still make plays under Droll, I'd say. Here's the thing. Link 2 add from the deck, we didn't need it. We had the Terra Baby. After adding, you gained that additional summon with your Terra Baby you already have in the hand. I think we definitely could have tried to brute force it. Fractal, send from the deck a Kit, send from the deck our Nerval. We're not going to be searching anything as the Karass discards to come forth and summon Karass. Before the Karass banishes from the grave, we're going to take control of it. And we have no disruption. That's it. We already used our Droll. We used our take control. We got nada. Nothing. On summon, Banish. Rogue Doll add back to the hand from the grave. Sure. If we survive another turn, we could definitely win this. But will we? Barragit is going to trigger the Ominous Search, but we're under Droll. Samorg could summon from the deck, even under Droll, of course. As we reborn from the graveyard, we're locked into Xyz summoning only here. As we now make an Ensemble Robin. with the Ensemble Robin and our Samorg. We're just going to clear up the field, poke for a little bit of damage, then end our turn. Ooh, we are Zeusing. Non-target, send the entire field to the graveyard. How many times, though? Twice. We have 2 field wipes plus an Omni Negate. Negate anything plus wipe the field twice. What do? Rogue Doll summon from the deck. We're going to Apex Avian, negate and destroy the Rogue Doll. Just like that. It is a hard once return effect, so we can't do it again. If there's level 4s, you need Little Soldier in the grave, which we do. Little Soldier will turn multiple level 4s into level 8s. So we're in a good spot. Fiendish Knight is going to be reborning the Rogue Doll, plus summoning the Fiendish Knight itself. We're activating the limits Little Soldiers early here. I'm not sure if I agree with this, but only because there's a Zeus, I guess we have to do it. Ideally, we'd be able to turn both our level 4s into level 8s, but that Zeus is a problem. We got to force the Zeus. It's got 2 field wipes. The problem here, there's a problem. This is not a trigger effect. We need an open game state to detach, search for a rank up, and then gain an additional normal summon, which we have not done so far. So we could wipe the field here before it even activates. And that's what we're doing. Zeus! We got one more wipe. One more. Now, do we have to worry about these effects? No, they're just adding back to the hand. Not a problem. Terror Baby can reborn a monster from the grave, but we don't have Little Soldiers to turn the Terror Baby into a level 8. So we could reborn the Xyz itself, then turn it into a level 9. Or we're going to go into the rank 2. The Link 2, that is. Link 2, again, open game state to activate. Not a trigger into not a trigger. There's a lot of purposeful downsides to Gimmick Puppet that you have to take advantage of. They're depending on you passing so that they can make their plays. That's it. That's it. Damn. That is actually it, mate. All right. 1 for 1, send, summon. Unfortunately, I did want to see Gimmick Puppet make it to the top 16 at least. Maybe there was another player that did. Lethal damage.